Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be walking you through how I drew these two dogs. This was a very challenging drawing, one that I had to be creative with. I was commissioned to draw these dogs because this was the owner's favorite picture of them. However, the lighting was pretty bad, so the colors were off. No matter what she did, she couldn't change the lighting in the photo so she could get the right colors of her dogs. So when she found out about me, she asked me to draw this picture, but with good lighting. She also sent a few other pictures of dogs, which were so I could cross-reference the colors and textures of the fur. The dog on the right was definitely going to be difficult. The one on the left, not so much, due to it just having plain black fur. I normally draw all of my drawings using a reference photo, whether it's a photo I've taken out in nature and I draw it, or I get a photo from a person because they're commissioning me to draw something. Either way, there's always a reference photo involved, and I do my best to copy them so that my drawing looks just like the reference photo. So to work with more than one reference photo was very tricky at first. At first, I switched between the reference photos quite often, feeling my way with what colors went where. Once I figured out that the bright yellow in the original photo matched up with the cream color in the second photo, and that the orange-brown in the original matched up with the French gray in the second photo, I was able to switch between the two photos less often, and soon I only used the original photo, not needing the second one for colors anymore. This was very interesting because I learned the same techniques as someone would learn for a grayscale, which I have never learned before. So now that I've experienced this, if I ever needed to sketch from a gray picture and add colors, or even go to a colored picture and make it gray, I would be able to. So I learned a new skill and technique, which will definitely help in future drawings. So once I finished this first dog, I moved on to the background. When doing pet portraits, I normally break the process up between at least 2 days, up to 5 days, depending on how big the piece, how much details are in it. So I split this first dog up between 2 days, and on that second day, I felt like working on some more. Why I began the background rather than the next dog is because the fur of the second dog is completely black. In my colored pencil drawings, my black colored pencils always fades at least 12 hours after applying them, turning it to a dull gray. And since I expected just to do a little bit more that day, I pushed off using all that black until closer when I would be able to seal it, which prevents the colors from fading. But then I kept adding more. Once I finished the blankets in the back, I moved on to the carpet, and then because I had more energy than I expected, I began working on the final dog. I actually finished the entire piece that second day, sealing it shortly after completing it. I also didn't plan on adding in the border when doing the sketch of the dogs, but when I couldn't fit it all in an 8x10 size without stretching the sketch and cutting off certain parts, I added in a white border. I lined up tape around the areas I was going into with color. Once I finished with the color, I removed the tape, cut it down to size, which was an 8x10, and sealed it. I enjoyed this drawing very much, and I've learned a lot about color schemes, as well as how lighting changes the original colors to other shades, and how I can capture this in my art. I found it very enlightening, especially to work on the creative side of things, where I changed a lot about the actual reference photo, which is something that I don't do very often. So I know that I can take these skills that I've learned from this drawing and use them for pieces in the future, which is very exciting. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this drawing process and that you learned something from it.